Lauren, I love the hair.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Looks
Thank
amazing.
you so much, honey. I love your hair too. We were just saying the last time we saw you, we think was on the football field, right?
Yes, for the
Yes.
musical episode.
Yes.
Um,
Hi.
Hi. It's first of all, you guys, been such a pleasure to cover this show. You guys are amazing. Your cast is amazing. The final season, also equally amazing. We do want to break everything down with you. So, first of all, what were your thoughts when you heard that Chloe and Lucifer had a daughter? That we were going to bring Rory into the mix?
As someone who's got 3 daughters already, I couldn't believe I was having another one, to be honest. No, I mean, it was a bit of a curveball, but at the same time, I was quite excited by that prospect, knowing what it meant for us as well as Chloe and Lucifer, and like we're so used to teaming up together for lots of things, but not as parents.
Right.
It was a welcomed new dynamic, put it that way.
Lauren, what about for you?
Well, at first I hear the daughters come in, daughter from the future, and that sounds pretty interesting. That sounds interesting. But once I got talking to Tom and Joe and Ildy, I mean, the real storyline of Rory, which is played so beautifully by Brianna Hildebrand. Shout out to Brianna. We love you, Brianna.
We do.
Such a lovely human being. But, that her abandonment issues with her father, with Lucifer, are so deep and so touching. And I think so many people can relate to that. So when I heard through the writers and Tom that that's what Rory's purpose was, really to come in and almost hold up the mirror to Lucifer in a way. He's always felt abandoned by his father, right? And now she's feeling that from him. So sort of flipping the coin and thinking of watching that storyline play out between the two of them. I was so excited for it. And I watched the two of them in scenes together. It kind of like jumped off the page. I think that's the main grounding of season 6 is watching this very tumultuous. I mean, she comes in so angry and so hurt, right? And then just sort of see where that goes. I just think it's so relatable. I feel like people can just really tap into that and see where that journey goes. And it's beautiful how it ends.
Hello, detective.
The ending was perfect, which brings me to my next question. The final words of the series are, I thought you could use a partner. And Lauren, Chloe says that to Lucifer. Kind of talk about the significance of their ending. It wasn't necessarily the ending we thought we were going to get, but it's almost the ending that I thought made more sense in a lot of ways.
I did too. I mean, I love that you get to see Chloe has lived a life, right? And her and Lucifer have sacrificed a lot, and for each other sacrificed a lot. So it's like you go, Chloe, like Tom was saying, okay, so we're together, we're in love. Finally, this is happening. But the rub lies within the fact that I'm human. He's not. No matter what, I'm gonna pass, right? And he's immortal. And so we kind of address that head on. And I love that you get to see Chloe be a mom, so to speak, and live her life with Rory. But then when she passes, right, you think she's gone to heaven with the Menadil, and then you see her going back down to be with Lucifer for really the greatest reasons, right? To, if you can even say that, help people. He's helping people rectify their hell loops and their shame and their guilt. And so she shows up to help him. And I just thought it was a great way to end the show.
Tom, for you, having Lucifer become this therapist in hell did feel very full circle when you think about the pilot and when you think about his journey and how much Dr. Linda has really helped him. What did you think of Lucifer's ending?
I loved it. I did. I mean, I thought that it's interesting, Katie, because I want to ask you what you thought the end of the show might be. Well, I'll go back to that in a minute.
It's funny because I knew that Lucifer and Chloe should end up together in eternity, but I didn't know how they were actually going to do that. And then in speaking with Joe and Ildy, you guys, this isn't a very sappy show, right? So I feel like the ending was actually perfect in that we know that they have a happy ending, but it was a little bit unexpected.
Bittersweet. Yeah, I love using that word, bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
It was, I loved it because what I was desperate to happen was, one, we addressed the fact that Lucifer and Chloe are not cut from the same cloth in that he's immortal and she's mortal.
Yeah.
So if you have this love story play out on Earth, how is that going to manifest itself? It just ends at a certain point. So I was like, what do our characters know for sure? And what does Chloe have the luxury of knowing for sure? That there is an afterlife, that there is hope there, that there is all these things, and we're in control of that. But, you know, she needs to live her life out on Earth. I've realized what my calling is, and we have a trust in each other that we are going to spend the rest of our lives together at the right time. And I thought that was, it was a much more bittersweet, I'm going to say it again, but it was a much more satisfying ending for me than they just end up together. Kind of like addressing what they need to address and having learned a few things along the way. And then our very fast last thing is them together, and we leave them together in eternity. That's exactly what everyone wants. And I think we kind of hopefully achieved that.
I also thought, and maybe I interpreted this wrong, but that her version of heaven was in hell with Lucifer, is kind of how I read it. But I don't know if that was right or not.
Well, I don't think there's a right and a wrong. I think it's up to interpretation. I think that's the thing. I mean, I think hopefully what we tried to do was give the notion, because we know that Chloe went to heaven in season 5.
Yep.
You assume that when Chloe dies, she's going to go to heaven, and we know that Lucifer can't be in heaven. So there's all these like things at play to kind of like guide you away from the fact that they, you know, when he leaves and goes to hell, that they may be saying goodbye for the final time.
I think you're gonna miss my incredible musical prowess the most.
Really?
Would either of you guys be open to revisiting the roles of Chloe and Lucifer, doing a Netflix movie of some sort?
The only spinoff that would not work from the show would be a Decker.
I think you're wrong.
I could see other characters having a super successful, epic spinoff, but I don't know, Muff. What do you think if we did a little?
I mean, I think I for now, like this is the end of the show as we know it. I think never say never is always something I say. And the notion of maybe doing a little Lucifer movie one day, I'm not against that idea. But I think, you know, the show as we know it and the show that we fell in love with, that has run its course for sure.
Not B-roll. This is not bloopers.
No.
I know you guys are such good friends in real life. So who was more emotional filming the final Chloe Lucifer scene?
I think we both sort of lost it when they yelled cut and it was the last cut of the show. I think Tom and I just went into this hug and like mutually started cry hugging. I think we cry hugged for about 5 minutes or something.
I was going to say, it's like just one of those things. Is like it's a distant thought. Oh, what's the end going to be like? What's the end going to be like? We finally got there. You're obviously just going through the process of doing your job, and then when they called cut, it was just this like, I don't know. It was just like a well of emotion just poured out really, and